Welcome to episode number 5 of Brian Wildcat's Wrestling Stars of the 2000s. Episode 1 is Batista, Episode 2 is Edge, Episode 3 is Kurt Angle, Episode 4 is Brock Lesnar. Now, in Episode 5, it's going to be the Legend Killer, the Viper, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. Randy Orton is a third-generation WWE superstar and his father is Cowboy Bob Orton. He wrestled in OVW, and on April 25, 2002 on an episode of SmackDown, he made his in-ring WWE debut against Hardcore Holly, which is a major upset of the decade just like the others. Randy Orton was a rookie at that time until Triple H forms Evolution to put over Randy Orton and Batista as the future of the WWE. What you see in this industry, you look to the future. In Triple H's words, Randy Orton was a mid-carder in 2003 when Helmsley formed Evolution. The business is in his blood. Randy Orton has every gift that a man could be given. And Orton became the Legend Killer. He punted Mick Foley down the stairs, and 80-year-old Fabulous Moolah fell for that and had a feud with Shawn Michaels. At Unforgiven, he beat Shawn Michaels in at Survivor Series. As a member of Team Bischoff, he ended Stone Cold Steve Austin's career to make Eric Bischoff the luckiest man on Raw. It was a golden night for Evolution when Randy Orton beat Rob Van Dam to become the Intercontinental Champion. Batista faced Shawn Michaels, and despite his loss to HBK, him and Ric Flair would win tag titles and Triple H become the 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. Randy Orton held the WWE Intercontinental Championship for 210 days, and he begins his feud with Mick Foley. On an episode of Raw, Orton was in a match with Mick Foley, and Foley walked out of the entire match, and in backstage, Orton says, "Legends don't cry, Mick, you're not a legend, you're a coward." And then, Orton spits Foley in the face, to declare himself the new hardcore legend. Ever since Mick Foley returns at Royal Rumble 2004, he was beaten down by Randy Orton and Evolution every single week on Raw. At WrestleMania 20, The Rock would return to team up with Mick Foley as they take on 3 members of Evolution, Randy Orton, Ric Flair and Batista in a 3-on-2 handicap tag team match. Let's not forget, WrestleMania 20 is the debuts of John Cena, Randy Orton and Batista that night, in separate matches. The 3-on-2 handicap match is a must-see match, and Evolution beat Rock and Sock Connection. That's not enough because one match made Randy Orton who he really is. Orton worked with Mick Foley, better known as Cactus Jack, in a hardcore match for the Intercontinental title. It was, without a doubt, one of the most physical and brutal matches in WWE history. Mick Foley put over Randy Orton at that moment. Thumbtacks, trash cans, barbed wire baseball bats, you named them. That match really made Randy Orton the Legend Killer. Again, Orton held the IC belt for 210 days. Until he dropped the title to Edge at Vengeance to begin his road to the World Heavyweight Championship towards SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, him and Chris Benoit would have a classic for the World Heavyweight title. At the end, Orton defeated Benoit to win the title and become the youngest World Heavyweight Champion at 24 years of age. People, get used to this sight because the Randy Orton era has just begun. On the next night on Raw, Orton continues celebrating winning the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, along with Evolution. As Batista hoists up Randy on his shoulders and Triple H gives Randy the thumbs up, and it turns out to be a thumbs down. And things turned into a jealous rage as Evolution betrays and destroyed Randy Orton. The next week on Raw, Orton was about to give up the world title and hand it over to Triple H, but psych, he ended spitting in the face of Triple H and hit him with the championship and ran away with it. So, Orton's a good guy now and his Legend Killer days are history. And does this guy ever look like a good guy to you? Because he lost the World Heavyweight Championship back to Triple H at Unforgiven 2004. And I don't think his character as a good guy worked out. But at least he became once again the sole survivor at Survivor Series 2004, just like Survivor Series 2003. Since Orton's babyface run didn't work out, Randy Orton was asked to be the one to end The Undertaker's WrestleMania undefeated streak. People wanted heel Randy back. They wanted Randy Orton to be the legend killer again. Now you got heel Randy back on the road towards WrestleMania 21. And Randy Orton begins his feud with The Undertaker. He even slaps him on the face on an episode of SmackDown, which ticks Taker off. At WrestleMania 21, Orton brings his A-game to try to stop the streak. He brought his father to get involved. He even attempted to hit the Tombstone Piledriver on The Undertaker. Despite losing the match and failed to end the streak, he was put over by The Undertaker. And yes, the chokeslam countered into the RKO out of nowhere was one of the best finisher reversals in WWE history. It was a good match but could have been better. Randy Orton's rivalry with The Undertaker in 2005 is entertaining. It was a roller coaster ride on SmackDown. This feud would continue since WrestleMania 21. Randy Orton and his father would make The Undertaker's life miserable. Cowboy Bob Orton would dress a fan to help his son finally beat The Undertaker at SummerSlam, which what WrestleMania 21 should have been. They tried to make him sign a retirement fund, and they even make him look at himself in the casket. However, The Undertaker would strike back. At No Mercy, Randy Orton and his father beat The Undertaker in the casket match and destroyed the casket and set it on fire, with The Undertaker still in the casket. It was one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. It was a war between Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown since Raw Homecoming. At Survivor Series, 5 members of Team Raw and 5 members of Team SmackDown laid out all on the line to see who's the better brand in WWE. In the end, SmackDown is the better brand and Randy Orton is 3 times the sole survivor. Celebration in the ring as Randy Orton is the hero of the blue brand until The Undertaker's bell gongs. There's a flaming casket and the dead man kicks down the casket door straight up in a horror movie and starts kicking us. 2 nights later on SmackDown, Orton attacked The Undertaker, and what disrespect Eddie Guerrero's death is that? The Undertaker was unconscious on the lowrider, and Randy Orton drives Eddie Guerrero's lowrider and kills The Undertaker once again when he drives into the SmackDown arena set. That's why Randy Orton is the legend killer. However, The Undertaker would play mind games with him and it's the dead man's turn to make Randy Orton's life miserable. Randy Orton and The Undertaker would settle the score as they meet inside Hell in a Cell at Armageddon and put this feud to sleep. This one, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated and forgotten Hell in a Cell matches in history. It seems that almost every WWE match is a forgotten gem except the others, but this one is a forgotten gem. It was violent and was a human bloodbath. When it comes to The Undertaker and Randy Orton, their rivalry on SmackDown 2005 was just entertaining. As for the Hell in a Cell match goes, it's must-see. Steel chairs, tables crashing, 2 refs down, interferences from Cowboy Bob Orton. Orton hits the Tombstone on Taker. It was a must-see match. According to rumors, Randy Orton was supposed to win the 2006 Royal Rumble match and face Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22, but Batista was injured by the hands of Mark Henry and has to vacate the championship. Since Rey Mysterio won the 2006 Royal Rumble match, Randy Orton says some harsh words to him and went too far. Eddie's down there, in hell. 2006 was the beginning of Orton's downfall. He failed to become the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 22, his ankle was snapped and injured by the hands of Kurt Angle, and he was suspended for 60 days. Orton would make his return and was drafted to Raw. And ever since he returned and drafted to Raw, he made an impact. Him and Edge would form Rated RKO, and these 2 men together would be 2 of the biggest heels of the 2000s. They would kill legends like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ric Flair and of course, DX. They beaten them in a bloody pulp and battered him, and destroyed them with steel chairs to make it a crime scene. Yeah, Edge and Randy Orton are terrorists. And too bad the group had to end too soon. At least they enter the 2007 Royal Rumble match and participant in the 2007 Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 23. But let's go to Orton's side. There's one move nobody is going to kick out of, and that's the punt. On the May 14th episode of Raw, Randy Orton attacks Shawn Michaels after his match with Edge and punts HBK in the skull and gave him a concussion. The legend killer is on a path of destruction when he destroyed legends like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam, Sergeant Slaughter, and Dusty Rhodes. Randy Orton really is a terrorist. He set his sights on his rival, John Cena and the WWE Championship. Two rivals finally meet one-on-one for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and stole the show, and it was one of the greatest rivalries in WWE history. Although SummerSlam 2007 isn't Randy Orton's night, Orton would do more evil ways to get to the WWE Championship. He attacked John Cena's father and punched him, and he even beat him up and made John Cena watch. Oh, and weeks earlier on Saturday night's main event, Randy Orton attacked John Cena and gives him the RKO on a steel chair. On an October 1st episode of Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton destroyed and injured John Cena on the road towards No Mercy, and Cena would vacate the WWE Championship due to a shoulder injury and be out of action for 3 months. As we open WWE No Mercy 2007, Mr. McMahon awards Randy Orton the WWE Championship, and Triple H would interrupt that moment, challenge Orton for the title, and win the belt himself. Later that night, it was Randy Orton's night and Triple H was the MVP of the show, as they meet once again, in a last man standing match for the WWE title. And Orton destroyed Triple H and took back what's rightfully his. The question is, why is Randy Orton's first WWE Championship reign 21 minutes? And why would Triple H challenge him for the title and win it himself in the first place? I will see you in part 2. Thanks for watching and listening.